I apologize for the background noise. My computer. Here, we'll just quiet it down a bit. There we go. Anyway, I wanted to document this while I was thinking about it. This is a pretty heavy realization. It's about the past, so no bearing on anything of any importance. So skip this for later if you're you know who you are. Excuse me. This is a theory. I believe it can be proven through simple logic, but certainly don't want this taken the wrong way. By no means. What my conclusion is that capitalism was built on the premise of slavery. Capitalism would have only worked had we kept slavery. So, loss of slavery was the downfall of capitalism. It caused a spiral that was inevitable had we not maintained a resource of free labor. The reason for that is because the economy, capitalism, is built on profit. And for profit to exist, there must be loss, and that loss must come from labor. And the way that works is, excuse me, I'm a little tired here. I was just about ready to go to bed when I thought of this. But I gotta get it out while I remember it. About 3 or 4 things I'm forgetting from the last couple of days that were pretty profound. I should have written down or something. Anyway. Excuse me. So capitalism was built on the premise, or was, requires, is the premise of capitalism was that there was a slave labor was available. And that is because, like I said, profit needed to come from labor, and labor could not be the same labor that was the consumer. There had to be landowner capitalist, had to be consumer society to be served by capital, and then slave labor to provide the profit for the capitalists who provided the services for society. Back then, the ethic was that slave labor was okay. So there was no issue in the minds of those people that created that documented capitalism, that invented it, basically. Sorry, I can't think of the right words. Nope, can't think of the right word. But anyway, conceived capitalism. I think that's the right word. But anyway, on their part, their ethics were not in question, because to them slave labor was a legitimate resource. And so I think if an economist, worth his muster, did the research and found the appropriate data and did the proper calculations, that they would be able to determine that yes, indeed, the inequality of the distribution of wealth, the factors that are really to blame for why our economy is the way it is and why it will never recover, by the way, would not have occurred had there been slavery, largely. Had there still been slavery. And again, I'm not advocating slavery. No, what I'm saying is that capitalism requires slavery. When we freed the slaves, we, by definition of what capitalism is, because it required slave labor, we enslaved us all. So we went from a specific class of race, or a specific race-based selection of who to be slaves to just arbitrary, to and the fact that we let it grow and grow and grow, without recognizing the need to balance profit with labor resource, because profit kept growing, the labor resource had to keep growing, so everybody's a slave now. It's just... please wake up, people. Anyway, so yeah, just something to help you see. Excuse me. Something to help you see what it's all about. We are slaves. And it's a democracy. Majority rules. The majority has voted to be a slave. Guess what? You and I are slaves too, even though we didn't vote for it. I voted against it. You didn't vote at all. That means you voted for it. Dumbass.